Hello and welcome to a review of the LEGO Star Wars Diorama Series Death Star Contraption, the Death Star Trash Compactor. This set released in 2022, I believe, has 800 pieces and retailed for $90. So let's take a look at it. This is the second adult set I've ever looked at on this channel, and the first one I've actually built. Did I build this first? I think I built this first out of the three that I now own. It's a trash compactor, and look at that. This is the best part of the set right here. It works. You can compartmentalize the trash and bash it up. Put the 5 included minifigures, we'll get to into it, and that's awesome. That's actually a huge plus for the set, but I'll get into that later. There's a quote on the front. One thing's for sure, we're all going to be a lot thinner. It's a print. It's kind of a stupid quote. I don't know. I don't think of that quote when I think of this scene. I don't think it makes sense. I like the quote, somebody's got to save our skin more. So it's Princess Leia. She's being a girl boss, so it's more iconic. This one doesn't really mean anything. The quote on the Yoda's Hut set is do or do not, there's no try. That is a beautiful, phrase that kind of encapsulates the magic of the Jedi and Star Wars in one sentence. This one doesn't mean anything. It's just some random action quote. And I feel like they only did this because, there's some sets that makes sense to have a quote on them, so they put it on there, and then for consistency, on the ones it doesn't make sense, they have to put one on anyway. So we get this, which it's just kind of lame. Now, the actual set itself is very detailed. It has the studless approach of the 18+ line, as I've noticed. Yeah, lots of tiles. There's 800 pieces, but a lot of those are very small. As you can see, tons of 1x1 tiles. On here especially, it's a gigantic maze of them. And it's such an expensive set, it kind of sucks. It's got that modern Lego density. I do like how junky it is. The build is, how random and erratic it is. Kind of reminds me of Yoda's hut, the actual hut being this, in a tree. Very, nothing too consistent. It kept the build process a little more interesting, even though I didn't love the build process for that set. But as you can notice from me just fiddling around with it, this set is pretty fragile. Even though you can compact the trash, parts just fall off all the time, and it's really annoying. I do like the aesthetic, but it's not perfect, and it kind of comes at a cost, to be honest. There's also the door in the back. This doesn't close or open. It's kind of static. I believe in the actual scene, it's opened by R2-D2 and 3PO. I do like how it creates like this enclosed scenario. It makes sense as a diorama. It's almost like a trifold. If you go in the back, there's actually a door with a printed element. Very simple detailing, but it adds a decent amount of fun to the set, I think Yoda's hut also does a similar thing where there's actually something to put on the back of the set, or, if you want to just look at it, there's something to do there. It's not completely vacant, and that's cool. It does add a little bit of fun magic to the set. But hey, let's look at the minifigures, because there are 6 of them, which is quite a bit. And for such an expensive set, I guess it makes sense. It gives you the whole crew, and that's nice, getting them all. I mean, except for Ben Kenobi or Obi-Wan Kenobi, but they're not really in this scene, so that makes sense. But, it's a nice rogues gallery. It's kind of rare to get all the important characters in one Star Wars film, or most of them in one set, or all the heroes. So let's take a look at them. First, we have got R2-D2. This is the classic R2-D2 minifig. It's been around forever. It will be around forever. They'll probably change it a little bit every once in a while, but still R2-D2. We've got C-3PO, who has some nice printed arms, which is very cool, and printed toes and legs. I mean, there is the dual molded version in the Land Speeder, and I think some other set, the C-3PO diorama, maybe not. There was some controversy with that. But yeah, this is a very wonderfully detailed minifigure, and it's come a long way since the original. I actually prefer this version because, it's nice and shiny and the details are fun. That circuitry just looks great there, like just super good stuff. Then we got Han Solo and Luke Skywalker in Stormtrooper garb. Basically the same figure. It's interesting how the legs are actually printed. Not all troopers have this because, a lot of them are meant to be amassed, but we get the nice extra detail here, which is cool. It doesn't come with the Stormtrooper helmet because it's one of those sets that's trying to get rid of the excess, which I get, but it's a little unfortunate. Han Solo with 2 pretty generic expressions, and Luke has 2 very generic expressions. Not much to say here, very much made out of old pieces. but an essential inclusion. Next, we've got Chewbacca, another one of the Star Wars mainstays, with the updated 2014, I believe, head design. He's got printed legs, which is cool. But yeah, not much to say here. I think this figure's been around forever, right? I mean, I'm mostly familiar with the old design, but this one, 2014 has been 10 years. But he gets a cool stick. Very awesome. Good for him. And finally, we get Princess Leia, who does not have the dress mold that I don't know if that was before or after this, but I know it's around the same time period. They get legs so they can kind of, get it in, because, you don't want to take up 4 studs in such a compact area. It makes sense. You've got the buns hairpiece, which is wonderful as always. Pretty generic expression. Got a hood, which is nice. Very standard. So I just went over every minifigure, and besides maybe C-3PO, these no real standouts. No, I don't think any of these are exclusive or even close to exclusive. And that's fine, because this is mostly meant to be like a roundup, not supposed to be like baiting a Star Wars fan to get this just to get one minifigure, which is nice, It's a diorama, and it's accepted that fact. It doesn't try to throw in some random other crap to get people to buy it who aren't interested in the diorama idea. It just is what it is, and that makes sense. You can put all the figures in there. It is kind of hard to squeeze them all in, especially if you want it to be as compact as possible, but it is doable. I'm not going to really do it because it's kind of, I don't know. It'll take a bit, and it is kind of annoying to get them all in, to be honest. The most I can get is, especially with Chewie with this big stick. Of course, this big stick is what keeps the trash compactor from fully closing, I believe, but you don't really need that here. I would have appreciated that little monster that's in the trash compactor. That would have been a great inclusion. I think that's maybe not an omission, because no one really cares about that little detail, except for me, but I would have appreciated if it was included. That's pretty much all there is to say, because this set, it's got nice details. It's pretty dense. The mechanism worked decently enough, even though the set kind of feels like it's falling apart sometimes, just by, using the function more than once. But that's all there is to say. I wouldn't say this is an amazing value. It makes sense as an adult's collector set that will be built maybe once. Oh, it actually supposed to go all the way. Yeah, there you go. Oh yeah, this little droid, he's stuck on with a little piece, but there you go. I think that's as compressed as it can get. Sorry, I'm just losing my train of thought while playing, because you can play with the set. That is something that I had puts it, in my opinion, above the Yoda's Hut set in a lot of ways. You can play with it. There's a play feature. An adult set. Adults can play. You don't have to be a baby to play. Playing is fun. And that's all there is to say. I know I said that before, and that was right before, but I just said random other crap instead. Here's the instruction booklet. Much like the Yoda's Hut, it is very, very vanilla, very minimalistic. Not a lot going on here. The render is rather nice, though. It looks pretty premium, very shiny. Yeah, you see the scene. I guess it's not stock, because there really is, there's not exactly this kind of information every single booklet ever, but it is kind of stock stuff, like, oh, the scene exists. Look at the scene. Look at the moments. Remember Chewbacca? Listen to, oh, there's some other quotes. Interesting. A stinky secret side of the Death Star. I do like that quote. Listen to them. They're dying, R2. I wonder if they say that. No, they don't say the save our skin line. I guess it's not good enough. The building process was okay. The grid here was not very fun. It came together well. The walls were pretty varied. They were fun enough to build. Another sort of color by number set. Yeah, not much to say about that. Nothing on the back. It is a vertical paper, though, which is a little interesting. Most LEGO sets are horizontal. Yeah, that's all there really is to say about the set. Thank you for watching, and next time I will talk about, in my opinion, the best 18+ set out of these three, and a great contender for the best LEGO set of 2023. Thank you for watching.